So thank you for having us up from Tucson. I'm delighted to be here. We were not expecting this cold weather. We did not bring adequate clothing, for sure. I'm most happy to be here with my dear friend, Renee Engel, whose first book just came out. And today she held it in her hands for the first time. So it's one of those joyous occasions that I'm just so delighted to be here in support of her mostly. So a good friend of mine recently, and it's uncanny that he's right here, recently passed away. And I was super blessed to call Jim Harrison family. I called him Uncle Jim. And I think he liked me because we were horse people. We both spoke the language of the horse, and he was just good to me. He blurbed my first book. He let me choose from his whole body of work for Hick Poetics from the 60s until his new collection that just came out, and blurbed the back of that. And, you know, we were just great friends. So I just want to read two things of his in tribute of him. And this is from Songs of Unreason. Poet number 7. We must be bareback riders. The gods abhor halters and stirrups. Even a horse blanket to protect our asses is forbidden. Finally, our legs must grow into the horse because we were never meant to get off. And night creatures. The horses run around, their feet are on the ground. In my headlights, there are 9 running down the highway, clacking in the night, swerving and drifting, some floating down the ditch. 2 grays, the rest colorless in the dark. What can I do for them? Nothing. Night is swallowing all of us. The fences on each side have us trapped. The fences tight to the ditches. Suddenly they turn. I stop. They come back toward me. My window open to the glorious smell of horses. I'm asking the gods to see them home. Thank you guys. You're so nice. Wow. So I'm in between 2 books. I put my last out 2 years ago. I'm working on 2 separate books right now, and I'm going to read you a little from both. The first is a project that I've been working on since probably 2010, and it is my intention to capture the voices and the lives of the women that lived in Tucson in the red light district prior to statehood. They were soil doves, some people call them. I don't call them that. They were working women. They were independent women, and they were really beautiful and neat and had not so tragic lives. They were pretty remarkable women. So here's a little bit from that. Before the society, the good bow your heads type of women, the parlor women, and the piano playing out onto the alley. Before a red corrugated iron fence held them in. After the Burro Express, before and damn it, the Volstead, this war and that war, the girls coming every other stage, then train. Anna Charlot and Ava Blanchard Nay Wiley. Around the early boom of the new century, before sainted city folks, before statehood, knife fights out the street, dirt through the alley, a sheer perfume, ours to it. Go by way of the river girl, days no tender sex, dare say motherfucker. She bails her petticoat drop to the floor. Mister, boots by the door frame laying fastened in this barrio, all prairie gone and breath beyond her work dress, naked, her hands on the brass rail. He enters. Creosote brought by the rain, I wake blessings, Mama. The morning light, I hang my stockings on the line. 1909, a cold November, but this morning, the way light bends past the mesquite, through the dirt, it seems you'd swear God lived here too, this place called God forsaken. You don't know this damp smell of the plant growing somewhere mid-desert reaches high through the mud walls. These hands mind the chickens, their eggs, same as home, one long prairie, you and Father. I could not stay for reasons you'll not understand. I cannot explain every time he leaves its buckshot all my pieces. How I must comfort myself in the arms of all this dust and even more. It is mine now. Hannah's. Go well. Anna Charlotte, born California to parents come west in the decades after the rush. Raised in the woods, knows her way around gun, bear, drunk men getting frisky, drunk men wanting one thing. There was never any gold. Or droves before had exhausted the earth, its very treasure, wrung the world that is California, and got used to living like gypsies because they never knew how to live in a city anyway. Life had to have purpose, pan in the hands by day, limbs used to the river. Your daddy's perpetual logged hands, bottles by night. A woman knew how to get by out there. When Papa Charlot died, it took nothing for Anna's mama to find a way to get by, and Anna then was 13. Her neither. Y'all are so nice. Ladies in Camacho, and I should say this, Camacho was the police figure at the time in the barrio in the red light district, which is now in Tucson bulldozed over for the TCC, which is kind of sad. It was called Gay Alley. The Tucson red light district was bustling, upwards of 250 women at one time. Ladies in Camacho, 2 pistols on the bar top on Sunday. Church people, their picnics, Elysian Grove, church society ladies, their parlors. We lounged at Ava's, up and down Meyer, trading clothing, Tula's latest styles, liquor, always a bottle for our men. Camacho just sit there. No one dared bothering him for wrath. He was thinking about something. Everyone let him think. Carmen, crib 2. To watch the weather, to watch anything, one must listen closely to the inside. A man hung from a tree, his feet, his body lulled, small circles, as if a light breeze was just settling over the pueblo. A wind from the south, call it maldito, 20 miles an hour it must be. Its fate will call on each of us differently tomorrow after we wake. How do I know? I've always known these things. We'll step out of number 2 for a look right in the morning, but Ava's gone walking to Molly's, her night terror ripping through number 7, her unflinching need to stretch life its very threads. She stamps her foot, screams, Ava! From her stoop line, Mercy is a rooster. Life pleasant, even if it was rough. In the days of wait several days for saddles and pack animals, I made my way up from Wymus before the bureau, running liquor when the land saw frequent rows, bloody fights. A common saying, don't run too far, an Apache will get you. Rain from 10 to 2, the streets turn rivers, the morning cold even in June. I came on a road through cactus and mesquite before fighting ripped Mexico, muy valiente. And the years before Arizona became the 48th state in America, I came north. Every girl, Annie, Molly, ramshackle, the verb says noon, a white phantasm, passing strung lights, every hers barrio. Even when she's cold, the desert burnishes fingers, alabaster wrought the ditch line. From any farm to your own crib, it's sir, I, sir, averted. Here's your side of the street, here's mine. Oranges from Sonora, gilt under the shade tree, we photograph well, pay our monthly dues. This singing all over town is a sandstorm. It's thieves, the very bread of bad language, how I make my money athirst now. Dirt barrio, end of winter, intent on warpath horsemen. Whatever o'clock he enters, I'm dressed, then I'm not. Sun, Bread up again the backyard choosing dress. The day that hanging the lion cat at my heel, they knew something we don't know, you see. Crooked eve of prairie home or Frenchies far away. Round about the window frame, lay chat, baby, Frenchie says mine. My younger days in New York, we had horses in Brooklyn, bicycles, bicycle the bridge, when I needed it for someone freer than I. Married to such, hold you housebound, could never give birth. I do believe I can never go back. I am corner crib 12. Anna, my baby, so many girls. These are public selves, cover legs downtown, but bare feet on the alley. The littlest chase butterflies, everything down in their bellies. Mothers said, get on now, how they lay and up and bawl. Shed again, baby girls for butterflies here after winter, up from Mexico for us. Stay many, many moons, Jolie screams. 15. Big flow. Blast of the worst words you ever heard in your life, balled up with hoofs, furious down the mud-packed barrio streets. Best get off the road. Ava said from the number 12 door line, to watch her work a horse was to know there are different breeds of women, one for every man. Whose hers was never secret to us, but to the rest of town, for he had married young and had babies to care for. Big Flo in her men trousers and wild hair, never wore lipstick, lace. Men choose things for what reason we can have no idea, but what went on behind door number 16, a strength contest, or every brace that held the bed snapping. Ava called her Peach to Flo's blushing. Somewhere inside the little girl had not been laid to rest. Flo was carrots in her pocket out the back door for BB, his horse. He was hand in the middle of her broad back Camacho. That son of a bitch, she said, full of shame she needed anyone. That son of a bitch. His towering frame making her a tiny thing as they walked their horses down the back alley away from everybody's eyes. Where the day broke pure open, the day hung by a thread, sung her mouths cold down a river line, mama's baby girl, born straight 2 feet from the last stage you jumped off of, almost broke his neck. I knew it the first time, these things you cannot run from, 2 palms into the air. You leave her alone or she grows too old to touch her own face. Fodder into it. Fodder to flit you home beyond the border, dust all over us, dust into the heels beneath the soldier's feet, and grow him back, or turn forever golden. Friction place, bring it on back, or go around what childhood brushed past a pant's leg. His boy play, bang you're dead. Her mind around a calla lily, her grandmother's piano, herself inside her shoes, that place of her still Nellie. Okay, that's all from that book. Thank you. And just a couple from the book that I've actually invested more time into that I'm growing tired of, though. I think I'm going to go to this one. It's almost summer, so I can write finally, no teaching. This was before every girl got her jackal in the sunlight. Above the clouds is light, and below is still dark in the cities and outside them in the forest. When the hands were to be kept busy, the hands were to carry the jackal light. Christmas trees had been carted off. It was a new year for them. You start off with snow and make something. This was before he laid her naked on the kitchen floor and they had each other's bodies, dark and snow out back the yard. Jackals howl open into the moon, and children love the drone of voices, house through the trees, even in cities. You can play by the train tracks all your life or go west for real, which is really to go under, to be of no more. I meant death, but that's way too taboo. Luck is a lot like that, and jackals cannot be made pets. Neither frogs, but that has to be learnt the hard way. Luck is like knowing you're going to make it, whether hard up or not, or howling by the train tracks. Real good dog by your side won't bite your fingers off. Every man I ever wanted had a pocket of rusty nails for me. Hard luck thing, you're far from Georgia. Children with pretty smiles know how that works. Above the cloud line, there's sun, and that's what matters. Hard freeze, too. Boys on the kitchen floor. You're so sweet. Does she even make it home? She in the sky can give in summer months where we will see rain. She in the rain and the path to home is muddy. Does this look like fun? I went every brambled path, Scouts honor. The road that bent back into a tumult. Here your feet are making their own motions all aboard the hippest trip where we wish you a stone gas, honey. She has never made it home. The year's coat of biting every alleyway, every low of the chin against the weather. She knows to bone the smell, the thinking behind it. Papa up the magnolia for the top bud. How it opens in your home also takes up the whole room. Sundays we don't talk at all. She is out there somewhere scaling high walls, all that brick and mortar he made sense of 8 hours a day, every post shift, VFW beer, every next day again. She is out there doing their thinking. The years she was barefoot, you couldn't even see her figure. The spring in the backyard still puddled up through the leaves. The tree was still more than a tree. You could climb it and lay back. She could be there. Now the dirt is kicking up a fuss in a dry town, and on Sundays we don't talk and never tell. I heard she saved the pigeon from a hawk, swung her leg over that horse's back and just left. Her mama figures her out there still. A remote dot beyond rain on a pony so mean she won't ever tire him out. And I think I'm just going to do one more and let Renee take over. You are old, thus you have stuff. Unicorn nailed to the wall, a bunch of rocks, different colors, lined up against a windowsill. Too many books, you've read them all. The day jolts like all the others. Bodies on the bus start with foot off the brake. Every tub you take her baby on your knee, thus the sun. In the olden days, we'd have a stare down. Mama don't get dressed up for the little business anymore. The house better be aflame. The slide yellow out the window frame, third story. Every elephant on his toes for peanuts or something even better they conjure we don't know about. Every baby is spotted and long-necked. Thus he goes to work light-footed in the city, not to get folks drunk for money someplace. The trees grow crooked and the oncoming winter never touches. We used to bury our magic boxes. Put our dolls in the spring. We thought magic out the yard, not the hose busted. Mama said this spring will keep us this young forever. Thus, I'm catching turtles in the pond behind the neighbor, smoking sticks and dreaming ponies in a far-off land. And he is Ninja Turtle, his first utterance into the world, pizza. Thank you, guys.